Okay, so the lighting situation in here is truly not ideal, and I need to get a ring light. I think I've got a lamp right here, LOL, not professional. But there's something that I really wanted to talk to you guys about today, and it's on my mind, and I need to get it to you now. So here you go. Something that is not sexy or talked about enough in business is the principle of being patient. Like I said in my last video, I get so many people asking me like what the secret recipe is that got me to where I am. What was it, this coach? Was it that investment? Was it that course? And like, yeah, it's a combination of everything. But the main thing is that so many of you guys are joining me on this journey now. And what you didn't see was the years of struggle, of failing forward, but failing nonetheless. The launches that totally flopped, the posts that got no likes. And the most important part about being an entrepreneur and being a successful entrepreneur and growing your business and all that good stuff is being resilient, for one thing, learning that failure is a part of the process, being rejected is part of the process, but also being super patient. Because there were so many years of work that have led into getting me where I am now. And by no means am I saying I'm successful, I've accomplished everything I want to, because we just getting started, if I'm honest with you guys. Who says that? I think it's Gary Vee. We're just getting started. However, I cannot stress enough how important it is to be patient, to know that every little piece of work that you're chipping away at now that might feel redundant and stupid and like things aren't moving quickly enough, those are the moments that count a couple years down the line when you look back and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that I kept doing that thing. Like I was saying before, I have failed countless times, you guys. I spent literally years spinning my wheels, trying all these different strategies that really didn't work at all. I have been rejected like literally more times than I can count, whether that's me. Early on in my design career, I had this strategy of just emailing and pitching brands and saying like, hey, I really want to work with you. I think you're awesome. I'm building my portfolio. I was essentially pitching people to even work for free at that point. And I'm not saying that was a bad strategy. It's not something that I necessarily recommend to my coaching clients. Ooh. It's not something that I necessarily recommend to my coaching clients. Oh dear. At this point, depending on who they are and where they are in their business. But in those years of sending those emails and not getting a response, or sending 5 emails until I got a response that would only say no, that built up this like thick skin in me that made me realize that business is a long game. If you're treating it as a short game of like, oh, your friend started a business, made $100,000 in 30 days or whatever, all these ridiculous things that people are claiming that might actually be true. But if you're starting a business, it can't be about making a quick buck. I mean, it can, and you can absolutely make a quick buck. But long term, sustainably, we need to think of our business as a long game. I'm thinking about my business 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line. What is that going to look like? So if you're just starting out on your business journey today, I want you to try and sit with me for a second and try to stop feeling discouraged when your strategies aren't paying off right away. Maybe you were posting consistently on Instagram for a week, and I've had clients that say, well, things aren't growing. I'm checking my engagement all the time and it's not happening. And all I can say is, it is happening. It's working. It's working slowly, and this is all building on each other. And I promise you, one day you're gonna say, oh my gosh, it happened. And it's slow and it's frustrating, and you have to build a thick skin, because rejection is normal, especially when you're somebody who's like a designer and you're trying to sell yourself all the time, or any type of service provider. You have to get used to being rejected, and you have to get used to failing, because when we fail in our business, let's say we come up with a product and it flops, and you know, launches don't go as we wanted. I don't really think of that as failure. I think of it as a learning experience where we can take away, I tried this time, didn't work, next time I'm gonna do this thing. Business has to be so trial and error, and the reason why you can't take somebody's course and walk away being a millionaire who knows everything there is to know about business is because everybody's business is just as unique and individual as the person who's running it. So of course, the strategy that worked for me isn't necessarily what's gonna work for you. And that's why I find my coaching container to be such an amazing, almost like sacred space, because it's not just us sitting there and me talking at you for an hour and saying, well, this, and this strategy is what we're gonna be doing because that worked for me. Like, no, that's not coaching. I mean, maybe it is coaching for some people, but that's not how I like to be coached, and that's not how I like to coach. Because what worked for me by no means is what's gonna work for you, because we are two completely different people. We have different likes, dislikes, ways of working, strengths, weaknesses, privileges, background. All these different things need to be taken into account when we're looking at how you're gonna build your business. Anyway, I'm getting a little off track here. The whole message and point behind this video is, if you're new in your business and you're getting frustrated that things aren't happening, they are happening. You just need to be consistent, because this is going to pay off in the long term. Love you guys.